So after a session which silenced everybody, I think most of us, have understood what the existing policy about farmhouses is, what can it do for the proposed area. But I think most of us miss the what we call as the legal understanding of the process. Most importantly, land and legal issues which are linked to this particular one, whatever it might be. So, for example, if somebody is saying it's become urbanized, I don't think anybody who's a normal human being would like to understand what does it mean as long as he's getting something approved on top of that. Somebody says, DLR is still applicable, Gram Sabha is still applicable, you still have to go to the Tehsil to get your mutation done or your whatever, etc. done. So a normal person is not interested, he doesn't understand the jargons. The problem becomes that, when we need to understand that more we clarify the issues, more the process is clear, and people, when they're signing on a document which is this thick, all legal documents, should not be worried about what's there inside. I think that is the objective of this panel. How can we, to be honest, take the fear away from signing a document and take the fear away from understanding what the legal process is. So I'll start with my friend, Avnish here, who represents in a senior position in the real estate division with Khaitan & Company, a very renowned law firm. And as I said, this will be again an open question session for the first one. You have been dealing with a lot of such issues, lands and developmental potential you've seen. With 54,000 hectares coming into the fray, as and when it comes, assumingly so, given the legal framework where we are, what your wish list be to DDA and to the government that please take away this uncertainty or take away these issues or clarify these issues? So help us to understand that process, please.
So I'll actually start on a lighter note. The demand for low density was such that only one lawyer is left on the panel. Everybody else is gone. So the high density of lawyers is gone.
Okay, but allow me to interject you for a minute. Mr. Govind has joined us from a virtual platform. So now it's two of you, Avnish. No, at least it's medium density now. You must not know anymore now.
Two dwelling units is clarified.
The lawyers have taken the home, they left none for us actually. It's always the case. I think that's the problem. But anyway.
Yes, it's audible. Please go on.
So we're starting with Avnish Govind first, and then we'll come to you.
Sure. So, the way I like to structure this is, I didn't think that you'll ask me to get into the basics of things. But there are 2 or 3 acts that are very important for this understanding. And the interplay between them, as far as the agricultural land or the urban land that has been declared, has always been mired in some sort of controversy. So 1962 is when the DDA Act was first implemented. So that was really the first leg where some sort of planned development was envisaged. There was a master plan. 1957 was the act. 1962 was the first time when the master plan sort of came out. There is an act which was in existence earlier. It's called the Delhi Land Reforms Act, which dealt with Bhumidars and Assamese. Again, a very historical concept which was taken forward. And in that, there were only 2 or 3 types of uses that were permitted for any Bhumidar or Assami. For instance, they would allow only agriculture, floriculture, horticulture, aquaculture. So only these certain elements were allowed. Anybody who was found to be in violation, the penalties are very strict. One, either the land would vest in Gram Sabha, or we would have colloquially all heard about Section 81 proceedings having been started. There was also another process because it was to protect the farmers. They said that if anybody is wanting to sell agricultural land, if their holding is less than 8 acres, they must sell all of it. Otherwise, they can, if it's larger than that, they can only then subdivide. So this used to become a big problem till very recently in implementation of agricultural land. For instance, one farmer owned a house in a village, and he also had an agricultural land of 3 acres. Now, would you insist that he sells his house as well as the agricultural land? Because a lot of Abadi land, which was declared as Laldora, a lot of people living outside that also, which was primarily categorized as agricultural land. Now, this conundrum really continued, and we've seen it play out in a lot of farmhouses. It's not unheard. Section 81 proceedings we've all seen. What the development that happened subsequently was a zonal plan was being developed by the DDA. In the zonal plan, they said that, okay, you can go and get your plans regularized. Now, the challenge was when you would go and get your plans regularized, MCD would issue building plans, MCD would give you permissions, but it will still be agricultural land. So, to this effect, so there was a DLR Act application, there was a zonal plan development by DDA, and there was still an MCD building plan which was approved. Now, what is the exact categorization of land? Is it still agricultural or has it been converted? Same issues came up in multiple case laws. I think there was one which was GS Rangpuri, in which they actually delved into all of this. And they said once the zonal plan has been approved by DDA, it becomes a town city land. And therefore, the DLR Act should not apply. Now, this was an SDM court order. So therefore, it could not be implemented completely. We have seen now even post-urbanization, what has happened? Ideally, if you look at, say, other states, say Haryana, once it is declared as urban, it comes within the master plan. The revenue office has nothing to do with it. You don't have to do record keeping at the revenue office. All of that shifts to the municipal corporation. Now, similarly, for all the states that have all the villages that have now been declared as urban should ideally be now maintained by municipal corporation once they've been handed over. But that handing over is not complete as yet. So there is still some issues on who will maintain the files, whether it is the revenue office or whether it should be the corporation office. So a lot of that on ground needs some sort of clarification on how this will process. In fact, there is a High Court judgment in J.R. Chawla, which very clearly delved into these issues, and they said that there are inconsistencies between municipal corporation, DDA, in Panchayati Raj Act, and even in LDRA. And they said that, and DLR, and they said ultimately it's Municipal Corporation Act being of 57 or last in order. Correct. Will supersede all of these, and therefore you must follow the MCD Act. But on ground, implementation is not complete.
Still not happening. Correct.
And that's really sensitization of the whole system. So that's just background in terms of the DLR Act and stuff. Now, coming to the LDRA and the revised development plan that we now have, it's a very welcome step. I think it brings a lot of points of this nature to the forefront. They are proposing to have a single window clearance. They are saying DDA will take over. But, maybe subsequently once everybody's had a chance, and this can be a more interactive session, I would like to get into some of the aspects that they have proposed in the policy, and then we can get into each of those and see, how everybody feels about it. Because frankly, like I think Mr. Sharma had also mentioned, the devil is in the detail.
When you set the context of these,
sure. I mean, I'll be happy to take it forward.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it is better late than never. In 2007, in fact, they had come and said that no more farmhouses, we will not allow. Then 2013 LDRA never got implemented. Now, finally, we have a policy, and therefore you see the urgency that it should be implemented irrespective. What I'll do is I'll also talk about the positives and maybe what detailing is further required. I will not criticize the act, but I think it's always more detailed framework and some learnings from, say, Gurgaon and other places that we've seen, right? So the GDA very clearly says that it replaces the whole LDRA, LDRP, and the Green Belt policy. So this is now an integrated framework. We need to see how integrated this will also be with the entire master plan development. For example, if there is an L zone development plan that's being created, how this is being dovetailed along with that, because a lot of infrastructure queries that are coming up. And this was always a constant point from everybody in terms of how it will be integrated. Because let's not look at this just in isolation, which I think Madam from DDA mentioned that they will dovetail it into the 2041 master planning, but it's thought about it better now as opposed to leaving it for later. So therefore, I think that's important. Earlier, there were obviously only 3 permissions. Now they are saying that they are allowing multiple activities to carry out. We've seen this even in Gurgaon context. When you talk about a cyber city, what is a cyber city? So I think they need to come out with developments. Is cyber city corporate offices? They came out with a full policy on what is industrial, what is cyber policy, what is IT ITS, what uses are permitted in those IT ITS, so that when someone's making application, they're very clear on what development can be carried out. While you mentioned Griha, but you should also specify what exactly is the nature, whether corporate offices can be done or not. Similarly, R&D centers. So some of these detailing need to, again, I think it was also mentioned in the earlier panel that density regulations, okay, will every plot be allowed, whether it will be on first come first serve basis, whether you will need to display some sort of past experience in having development, what will be the criteria for you to grant those permissions?
The way policy is saying is that you construct 60% area, for 2 years you run a school, if you are fed up, then you run a warehouse in that, and then you convert it into a residential area, so it's all permitted. That is what policy is saying right now.
Yeah, but
Would you like to take on that?
My question
No, that's important observation Pradeep has made.
to you is that what is the circle rate of these lands? These are urban land,
So-
and if I'm using it for a club, so what is the circle rate of this land?
So more than that, I'll tell you, and this is a practical issue that we face. It again boils down to what is the nature of this land. Is this converted land?
Yes.
Is it agricultural land? Because I'll tell you, from a foreign development, from FDI perspective, FEMA perspective, any private equity who would want to invest cannot invest in agricultural land. So is that
It's not
reclassification?
agriculture anymore, it's urban land. How's it agriculture anymore?
No, but okay. So
Once it become urbanized,
Land use, residential.
no, sir.
so I
Sorry.
so I'll tell you.
Whether they call it urban, but in the revenue records, it's
No,
still.
there's no revenue anymore. Nah, please understand.
No.
There is
So-
it's a master plan.
Gaurav,
which
you're
is-
right. I'll explain. You know what I mean.
What is the land use of this so-called 600 square meter plot where I'm doing the burial ground? What is the land use of that plot? Is it a residential plot?
No.
Is it a commercial plot?
No.
Is it an institutional plot?
You can call it a utility plots.
No,
But circle rate does not identify.
Yeah, circle.
So Gaurav, my point is,
So I think let us flow with the flow. It's getting a little interesting.
No.
Unlike the last session where everybody was dropping dead, and before Pasrit Saab came in, last session was a washout, sir. Everybody's got confused. First two session का जो मजा था, वो सबका हवा निकल गया उसके अंदर अब जरा. बस बताते हैं आपको तभी बेचारे आधे लोग भाग गए छोड़ दिया आधे कमरे यहाँ से. And he's the victim culprit, he started Pradeep ने सारी tempo शुरू किया था. Anyway, please start. I think Govind is also waiting for his chance somewhere over there.
Sure. So maybe I'll just finish this and then I can come back to other. So I think he's right. So you're right in that some of the land will stand converted to urban. It will not be agricultural, but there is still a gap. So if you look at the notification of villages that have been urbanized, and if you look at the list of green belt area, not all green belt villages have been urbanized. So to your point, yes, to the extent they've been urbanized, one can take a view that they are urban. They're not agricultural anymore. But for
in the current standing, not all the villages of the green belt are urbanized, you are right. In the current master plan, because the next master plan has not come yet, right now they still have the land use as green belt, as agricultural land, as water bodies, and as LDRA, where LDRP is allowed. So the point is that this will take a while. The notification will happen because we are allowing these activities. They have to be urbanized for them to be able to come in these areas. And that will happen in due course, as to how it happened with LDRA as well. Once these villages got notified before land pooling. So the current state is this. And as far as these activities are concerned, in the next master plan, these will be overlaid. They will be an overlay layer indicating that this is the area where such kind of grade uses can happen, and the spatial policy that allows it will be the GDA policy. So this will be integrated into the master plan such that there will not be any this thing out there once it's out there.
Yeah. So I think the request is practically, if you want to attract capital today, we would need that clarity. So I mean, it's good to know that it will be included, but sooner the better.
A lot of it is already there.
especially when he talks about Zone J and all this, there is already an existing ZDP and that is undergoing the notification. So that is there. And
Okay.
with the policy going getting notified, this will be the permitted activities that will be allowed. Then there is no scope of.
Why did you change the
Name-
low density residential plot to farmhouse again?
No, but
Earlier it was
see,
residential plot.
so you have to understand that earlier, because it was residential plot, it was being very restrictive. You are allowing only a certain kind of residential this thing into these green belt areas. Whereas when we look at green belt and when we see how it contributes to Delhi, it has to offer economic value, but not at the cost of ecology and also not in reference to built up area. So we are looking at, providing economic interest to a larger set of people. When we were talking about Google or Apple coming in, there is a certain economic interest associated in these areas, which will allow that. But at the same time, you will ensure that there's a certain amount of green that is there in the area. The reason for, again, just 2-3 points to just clarify.
Coming back to you and then why do you take Govind on line?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think we can jump to Govind on his views as well on
Your
this.
views on the-
Yeah.
As I said, this is the first question is free for all. You can say whatever you feel like. So there's no context to what you need to speak. It's just that it should be in the context of the Green Development Area Policy and clarifying the legal framework around it. There are many people here who don't understand the legal issues. Help us to decipher it and help us to understand how it is the best thing and how, in case there's a legal issue, how can we handle it?
Yeah, first of all, I thank to Avnish for getting a very factual and brief background of the DDA and then the present policy. So primary one question outing again this discussion is that what would be the circle rate? So my suggestion towards it, this need to be integrated in this policy, that is once as restricted right now, like 23 villages has been notified under the green development policy. So the DDA now is taking over all these villages. So they should come up with, as they have done with other municipal areas, they have graded the areas in grade A, grade B, grade C, and circle rate has been decided. So there should be a clear-cut mandate and narration of this in the present policy. This need to be incorporated, that there has to be a specific grading of the area to understand and lever the circle rate of the policy for further transactions. As in last, the first question posed by one gentleman, Mr. Parveen, if I'm not wrong.
Mr. Pradeep Sharma.
Pradeep Sharma, yes. So that's a very relevant point. So if tomorrow I build a farmhouse and I want to sell it, or I want to purchase a certain kind of activity, then why should I struggle in between two things? Like there is no clarity over the circle rate, there's no clarity about the character of a land. So in my opinion, this need to be practically incorporated in this policy for its successful implementation.
So,
Sorry.
Yeah, Anji, please.
Sorry.
Mr. Sikri would like to add something. Mr. Bhupinder
I tell
Sikri.
you, in the policy, they have 1.81. So I will read 181, which already have written my clarifications. 8.1 said, landowners shall be required to pay EDC and any other applicable charges for development for zonal roads and trunk roads and shall be suitably linked to grade of development. So I have asked them a question which I have sent you also. Request disclosure of EDC and other charges along with policy. So it clears everything. Now, as my fellow colleague has explained to you, in Delhi there is another problem. There is a Punjab Act lands also.
PLP.
And mostly in our area, the lands are Punjab Act. In fact, Punjab Act, this section 80 does not apply.
Yeah.
But it was a shop of revenue department to misguide us, to charge money, and there was a scandal going on. First, Patwari will come, he'll ask for some money, otherwise 80 लगा देगा. 80 की definition क्या है जी? आपकी boundary wall is allowed 4 feet. Section 80. फिर आप अपील करेंगे, SDM उसको clear कर देगा, 5 लाख रुपया ले लेगा. I'm talking openly now. Then their advocate will file an appeal to the DM. आप DM साहब को जाओगे, सेवा करोगे, clear कर देंगे. Then again their advocate file to revenue. Financial commission, sorry. Financial commission. So this is going on. First of all, before the implementation of policy, we should tell DDA कि आप LG साहब को बोल के अब these villages are urbanized. इसके ऊपर आप सबसे पहले जो ये प्रॉब्लम जो पुरानी थी आप बेशक चेक करके उसको खत्म करो. So only then any plan will be sanctioned. You make a policy, you go to corporation, they will send to revenue. They say, "भाई ये तो ग्राम सभा में वेस्ट हो चुकी है land." It will not move further. So first of all, that we should ask. The next question I ask them, conversion charges. See, as per my feeling, that's why I asked for clarification. Same in green development area, they have allowed facility corridors. You know, facility corridors, what rate they have decided? 38,000 rupees per square meter they are asking. Plus 2,000 rupees per square meter for EDC. So that comes to about 17 crore rupees per acre for your land conversion charges. So that's why they are giving you their 125 FAR. But here they are giving you only 60 or 30 or 20 FAR. So I think, but we ask for clarifications. Secondly, the worst thing what I feel and feel ashamed of, I don't say that Haryana is different or Gurgaon is different. We are all Indians. We are part of India. Today, that stage has come. I think in every session, everybody quoting Gurgaon. But what is lacking in Delhi? It's only because of policies.
Should I tell you what is lacking in Delhi? गुड़गांव का एक बाप है, एक माँ है. गुड़गांव का एक चीफ मिनिस्टर है.
मैंने यही बोला.
चीफ मिनिस्टर सब कुछ काम करता है. यहाँ दिल्ली में चीफ मिनिस्टर भी नहीं है.
मैंने सुबह ये बोला.
काम के लिए हमें प्राइम मिनिस्टर के पास जाना पड़ता है.
ये सुबह ही मैंने ये चीज बोली कि नंबर एक.
तो आप काम कैसे करेंगे?
नंबर एक. दूसरा दिस.
No, but there is because the land does not come.
You're right, sir. You're right. No, I
See, Pradeep ji, second worst problem is Delhi. I have written one letter to the Honorable VC also, कि you are always conservating in giving FAR. First you gave us 1.5 story in Delhi, then they say अब आप 2.5 बना लो, हाँ? फिर आपने बोला जी 3 बना लो, अब जी अब 4 बना लो, स्टिल्ट बना लो. क्या? Can you? Is it possible to break your house and then you make 3 story? इट्स ए नेशनल वेस्टेज. अभी भी देखो उन्होंने आपकी क्या किया, वो प्राइवेट लैंड पॉलिसी में 200 FAR बोला, अब देने वक्त 700 दे रहे हैं. अच्छा, लैंड पूलिंग में
DLR Act, when you are talking that, is a state subject. DDA policy is coming from center. So when central will meet DLR Act or state government, तभी तो ये resolve होगा. That is why I am asking you again and again, what is the circle rate? Because circle rate will be decided by the state government.
Sir, another.
Once they get to know that you are doing a cyber pass here, they will say, okay, B category into 3. Circle rate आ जाएगा, आप sanction करा के बना के दिखा दो.
Sir, another problem.
Sanction नहीं कराएगा.
और क्या? अपने आप बनाओ. Secondly, I tell you one thing more very peculiar in Delhi, which many people don't know, and I'm going to put it in the site also. In our 13 South Delhi villages, acquisition happened in 80. 85 was in, section 6 was imposed in 85. 87 they were doing paper kabza karwai. 88 the High Court order came, this acquisition is quashed. 89 your Joint Secretary, Land and Building Department, Geeta Sagar wrote a letter, that land has been denotified. Anybody who has given plot should return it. And anybody who has taken compensation also should return it by paying 12% interest. And this confusion started, things were going on. Later in 2000, some confusion came. Some of our Honorable Supreme Court judge said, no, that was in persona, not in RAM. Problem started. Again,
So
the
legally, again, their view was, you're right, that only people who have
Listen,
filed.
give me 2 minutes, give me 2 minutes. Again, the law came, Acquisition Act. We people all went to court. Our lands have been denotified by High Court, by Supreme Court. Then our Arun Mishra ji came, Honorable ex Justice साहब, उन्होंने एक ऑर्डर दे दिया. Luckily, इन गांव वालों की किस्मत अच्छी थी या उनका कुछ था, उन्होंने भी ऑर्डर किया. उसमें there are 2 points. One is if you have not taken even paper possession and you have not paid compensation, land is denotified. Second main point was in any village, if you have not paid compensation to majority of the villagers, pay as per new act. We made a representation from Ansal, DLF कि भाई ये दो चीजें हैं जिसका आपने पेपर पोजेशन में नहीं लिया, कंपनसेशन में नहीं दिया, वो जगह डीनोटिफाई कर दो. दूसरा, अगर आपने लेनी है जगह तो एज पर न्यू एक्ट ले लो. This thing is going on since 2 years. Finally, LG Sahab issued an order 14th August that you make a committee with the Chief Secretary Delhi and inform us the status of 13 villages. Minutes of that meeting, they have given 1 week. Minutes of that meeting was drafted on 10th of September. The time was 1 week for report. At least report also has come. Now he's lying with the VC Sahab and other people. Nobody wants to take decision.
That's very interesting to know, Sikri Sahab, that that's the reason we have the legal heads around us. So that
Yes.
हम कह रहे हैं हम अपना काम तो कर सकते हैं मगर ये सरकारी जो है और legal है. So I will take it back to you, Avnish,
मैं legally-
and Govind. Please help us to lay out a, let's say, roadmap which doesn't confuse most of us sitting here and says if you go one way, 1, 2, 3, 4, you'll be able to reach your target. I think that's what the whole point is. We get derailed in the
We should
process.
ask for these clarifications. I have given my objections. I asked for clarification also. So we should ask for clarification. Lot of things can be clear with that. And then these are the things which I don't know.
So coming back to the policy, right? I think so. Again, it has the heart in the right place. But on detailing again, they say that group of people can come together and apply for the scheme. Now, what will be the document that they will execute? Will it be a collaboration agreement? Will it be a joint venture agreement? What nature will be acceptable to the authorities? Again, I mean, I'm again going back to Haryana because not because of anything else, but because these are tried and tested. Like we look to the West to get the best practices. It's just one of those sort of exercise. So here again, the idea should be they have specifically mentioned that you will execute a joint development agreement, pay stamp duty, register it and bring it to us and we will thereafter allow for this to happen. Now here they say group of people can combine together and apply. I'm not sure legally what will be that document. Our Stamp Act in Delhi does not talk about development agreements. It only talks about lease and it talks about sale agreement. What will be the nature of this agreement is not clear. Or what will be acceptable to DDA as a single window clearance needs to be clarified for people to then start collaborating. Otherwise, how will land be aggregated by people? And when you talk about clusters has not been defined. Will it be landowners? Will they subsequently then be permitted to transfer, subdivide? They say that subdivision can happen, but a subdivision again will have issues. When assuming a license or a scheme is passed in name of 3 people, can one person then subdivide or you need signatures of all 3? These are practical issues that come when things like this happen. Similarly, a mix of land use. They say you can have a mix. Now, it's not been determined what will that mix be. I think you mentioned, you clarified that it will depend on the person who's applying. But again, are there any contours? Because you see, when anybody wants to start applying, these are the questions they have. They will go to the architect, they'll go to the lawyer, they'll go to everybody on, listen, I have a 20-acre parcel. How can I subdivide? Will it be, first you make an application and then the authorities will tell you, but why can't we have those guidelines upfront?
So the GDA scheme under which any of these applications will be made will have a series of these, what you mentioned. Also in terms of how it's happened in the land pooling also, where there was a developer entity or a consortium formed, and it will be a similar case what's happening in TOD also. Even in GDA, where a group of landowners want to have that integrated parcel and come under a scheme, will have to undergo the consortium process, wherein the stamp duty, and these are actually going to be a part of the regularization, the document along with it, regulations document, which will then further define the process as to how this entire thing will be executed. The GDA scheme will also it will be also where the landowner has to give details about how much percentage is going for mandatory wooded area, what is that area, the access road that is being talked about, and where the mixing is happening or to what extent the mixing is happening.
Okay, great. That's good to know. I think so. We'll have to.
So,
one point I would like to make here, as ma'am has mentioned, land pooling policy. The consortium concept has also been narrated in land pooling policy, and lately, while drafting the consortium agreement, there has been so much inputs and difficulties from the stakeholders that lately DDA come up with a draft or a model consortium agreement, which was again sent for observations and inputs, but till that same has not been finalized. So DDA need to, as Avnish has already pointed out, DDA need to come up with this concrete set of document what they want, because these is the same shortcoming that has been faced while implementing a land pooling policy. Then it seems that DDA is committing a same mistake again with the green development policy. This need to be addressed properly. See,
Fair enough, Govind. So maybe I'll ask a question to Mr. Pasrich. He is a veteran in the business of development, ownership, managing associations. So therefore, he has seen all kind of legal issues from point A to point Z. I request you now to be, entertaining us and highlighting to us what would his wish list be from a legal standpoint, that in case we go this route, we'll be able to reach our objective. I think we are only trying to see a path, sir, that if we start from this point to that point, and follow all the right, touch point, we'll be able to reach our destiny.
Hi, is this working? Hi. Good afternoon. Sorry I was late. I was only asked this morning to speak, and it's a privilege to be here again. I'm also asked to speak because I happen to be a lawyer who's done a lot of this land work. Various developers and foreign companies also coming into India, very interested, but they know the restrictions for them. As far as the farmhouses are concerned, I mean, I see this policy being implemented through the DDA Act, and you will still have to declare a development area, which until then, this nonsense of the Delhi Land Reforms Act will continue. I call it nonsense because the Patwari and all this tamasha, it's such a joke. It has to be overcome. There's a notification declaring us urban, but nobody knows the effect of the notification until you hit development area. Once it's declared a development area, then even the Patwari can't walk in. But until then, he comes and checks my crops out. This is bizarre, but it's true. Okay, so let's put that behind us and let's carry on paying the Patwari, which is what I've heard today. I didn't pay them. I've never paid a Patwari. That's a fact. But the fact is, one of your speakers was here today, has actually caught a Patwari range haath. And I don't know if you know what range haath means, but he has used notes marked with red ink, which the Patwari has taken and has been caught and has been arrested for corruption. And I'd urge you all to move on down that path. Sekri Saab, all that you've said and so many things, I think we have to start moving as a community in the direction of taking up more legal reforms, which means attack, attack, and attack again and again when they ask you for money, because we are not all guilty. And just to go from one step to another and pay 5 lakhs here and 5 lakhs there, it may sound small, and it is much smaller than the lawyers charge. I'm sorry to say, lawyers charge too much. Senior counsel charge much too much. So 5 lakhs is a lot cheaper. Find a cheaper lawyer, try your luck with the courts, but stop paying. Everybody will stop paying if we all stop paying. I'm sorry, that message has to go across. It has to go across to the developers.
No, I think it's an important point which you're making on the platform NAREDCO. We understand and we support the cause actually.
And the second part of it is also, I mean, I said something a little nasty, and not this morning, but yesterday's session. I said that Germany has picked themselves up from the rubble of a destroyed, decimated nation in 1945 to what it is today. We had 330 million people. We have built a population without building a nation. And we're very proud of ourselves. So if we don't abide by the law and follow it in that direction, it's not going to get us anywhere. We're a country of law more than we are a country of order. In China, you have order. In India, you have law. We need to have both. You can't have both until you decide to follow these policies and say, all right, implement that policy. For the DDA, from my point of view, you asked what's the wish list? The wish list is declare the development area sooner rather than later. Declare the zonal plans and don't sit on them for the next, 300 years. I mean, at least 300 months is your normal standard. They talk about 2041. I don't know why. Do you know where 41 is? Do you know where we are? 2041 is 20 years away. At least let's do it in 5 years. And I don't know why we've got 20-year plans that are out there for so long. when we looked at them, and I've grown up through these plans now, we are looking at the future for reasons that, we keep thinking by then it'll happen. It won't unless we do it today. You talked about the circle rate. I personally think the circle rate is irrelevant. I've litigated it. I've fought against it in the High Court. I've gone up to the Supreme Court and I've argued the matter. The circle rate issue, as far as we are concerned, is only a form of benchmark. It has to apply per area. It has to be notified. It's a function of the government. And if they're just out to make money out of it, we can see how much we've reached. That's my wife. She can always find wherever I am. Whenever I move locations, my phone rings. And so that's how it works. It's automatic. So anyway, so in the long and the short is, I think the sooner the better. The empowered people, and there I was told something greatly good today. I said, there's these people in the DDA who are honest. Everybody looked up and said, wonderful. It's so nice to see that, especially the younger form. Younger means less than 50 now that I've crossed that. So you can turn around and say, if they want to implement it, please let them. You don't have to get the Prime Minister's stamp and Mr. Kejriwal's stamp on everything. Put it forward with some courage and say, let's do it. That's my message to the government. Thank you.
I'll take 1 minute. I'll ask one clarification from you. I would like that indigenous species you have written for, that should be specified. Otherwise, there'll be again a confusion. Kindly confirm that whether renewable energy will be calculated on the basis of sanction load or minimum demand indicator. Then third, I have is request disclosure of EDC and other charges along with the policy. Conversion charges not to be applied and additional FAR charges should be disclosed. So these 4 or 5 clarifications are there. So I would like that if you...
There's one contradiction, by the way, in the policy. It says for existing farmhouses, and if they are existing on the date the policy is notified, I'm afraid that's in violation of Section 14 of the DDA Act. It has to be on the date when the zonal plan and the development area is notified. You can't have a policy notification that even matters. It's not legal because the DDA Act, the HEAD Act, doesn't provide for that. The proviso under 14 gives us protection of activities, and I've used this for sealing, until the development plan is notified. So you cannot, it's absolutely illegal to say on the day this policy is notified. The policy is irrelevant. It is the development area notification.
So my question to you would be that let us say there's a farmhouse which is illegally built today. So you mean it is now getting covered as it will get legalized?
Let's answer that. An illegal construction is not legalized by a master plan. If they have a provision to legalize it, then your question is answered. Existing farmhouses that are against the law or whatever, by paying so much will become legal, subject to architect certificate, setback, and they'll have to demolish something that is outside. Subject to those norms that are set up, those can be legalized. Today they are illegal. And if the policy, I'm afraid, is irrelevant. It has to happen with the development plan. Otherwise, somebody will challenge.
In Delhi, not even a single square inch of land or a house is legal.
चलिए,
Not even government office.
That's a good one, Sikri साहब. भूपेंद्र भाई, आपकी तरफ से क्या कहना चाहेंगे इसके बारे में?
ये प्रबुद्ध हमारे जो लीगल मास्टर्स हमारे साथ बैठे हुए हैं,
जमीन से जुड़े आदमी, आप जमीन के बारे में बताओ हमारे को तो आप, क्योंकि चक्कर क्या है कि जमीन ठीक आ जाएगी तो लोग कुछ कर भी लेंगे, वो जमीन में फंस जाते हैं लेने के बाद, वहीं से नहीं निकल पाते 10-10 साल तक। फिर
जमीन में जो टेक्निकल इश्यूज हैं, जो अभी तक एग्रीकल्चर लैंड पर 81-33 की वायलेशन और ये सारी चीजें लगती थी, अब वो
मैं आपसे स्पेशल क्वेश्चन पूछता हूँ। जैसे आज मैंने जमीन खरीदी किसी अर्बन विलेज के अंदर
जी,
अब मुझसे कोई कह रहा है जी उसकी तो म्यूटेशन ही नहीं चढ़ेगी आपके रिकॉर्ड्स के अंदर, तो मेरे पास सेल डीड रह गई है, वही मेरा ट्रू रिकॉर्ड है, या फिर मेरे को म्यूटेशन भी करानी है?
जी जी,
म्यूटेशन तो हो नहीं पा रही, वो कह रहे जी अभी अर्बन हो गया है।
जी जी,
अब इसमें तो उसके लिए वो कह रहे जी आपको कोई छतरपुर साइड में एनओसी नहीं दी जा रही है, जबकि यहाँ पे अपना छावला साइड में एनओसी दी जा रही है, तो ये एक ही शहर में एक तरफ कुछ काम हो रहा है, एक तरफ कुछ काम हो रहा है।
जी समझ गया मैं आपकी बात को। अभी काफी सारे गांव ऐसे 32 से 33 गांव ऐसे बचे हैं जो अर्बन नहीं हुए हैं, उन गांव के एनओसी मोटेशन सारी चीजें हो रही हैं।
नहीं, जहाँ पे अर्बनाइज है छतरपुर साइड में, वहां पर भी क्या नाम है म्यूटेशन, सॉरी एनओसी नहीं लिया जा रहा, कह रहे कर लो जरा इस हिसाब से। अब कैसे करें इसको, मतलब बिना एनओसी के और बिना म्यूटेशन के ठीक है जो हो रहा है ये?
नहीं, एनओसी के साथ तो ठीक है। अभी जैसे डीडीए से मुलाकात हुई थी, वीसी साहब से जो बात हुई, उन्होंने अभी ताजा ऑर्डर पास कर रहे हैं, फाइल बन चुकी है कि जब तक हम इसको अपने अंडर में पूरी तरह से नहीं ले लेते हैं तब तक के लिए आप रेवेन्यू डिपार्टमेंट ही इसको मोटेशन करेगा। और एनओसी सिर्फ अब 81 की और 33 की एनओसी नहीं दी जा रही, बाकी और चीजों की एक्विजिशन में एलएसी डिपार्टमेंट है, वो सारी एनओसी तो दी जाएंगी। ऐसा नहीं है कि उनकी एनओसी नहीं दी जाएंगी।
नहीं दे रहे,
अगर नहीं दे रहे हैं तो वो उसको चेक करना पड़ेगा क्या रीजन।
सर आपकी साइड में नहीं दे रहे हैं, पर आज जब कापेसाड़ा साइड जाएंगे तो वहाँ पे एनओसी लेनी पड़ेगी।
पर्टिकुलर मैंने तो लिखवा के ले लिया है कि हम म्यूटेशन नहीं कर रहे हैं, कहाँ पेमेंट टू कॉर्पोरेशन, वो नहीं म्यूटेशन कर रहे, तुम करो।
नहीं, मोटेशन की बात अलग है सर, एनओसी की आप बात कर रहे हैं, कौन से कहाँ की एनओसी नहीं दी जा रही, किस कौन से पार्ट की नहीं, क्या कह के रोका जा रहा है?
भाई अभी मैं एक एडवाइस करना चाहूंगा, बिकॉज देयर आर ऑल फार्म हाउस ओनर्स मे बी लिसनिंग टू आवर टॉक virtually. Now another problem is going to come, which I anticipate. I can be wrong. I wish I should be wrong. Now house tax people, what they are doing, they are putting heavy charges on the vacant land. Vacant land charges. And these some of the cases we have won also in the tribunal, house tax tribunal. But that order also says कि अगर आप उस पे एग्रीकल्चर कर रहे थे तो नहीं लगेगा. And department has gone to High Court. And lot of cases are pending there. Now, if I have got any vacant land, either I show them by vegetables are grown there or flowers are grown there or some crop, maybe wheat or bajra or something, and I take pictures and keep a record. Otherwise, they are putting a huge 20 lakh, 25 lakh, 50 लाख के नोटिस लोगों को आ रहे हैं अकॉर्डिंग टू द साइज ऑफ द फार्म कि आपके वे, और हालांकि उनके ट्रिब्यूनल ने ऑर्डर किया है, सम डीसी हैज पास्ड अ क्रेजी ऑर्डर, ही हैज रिटन वेरी नास्टी वर्ड्स फॉर द डीसी, बट इट इज डन, वंस इज डन इज डन. So that another problem we are facing.
Can I just, I've got an order in my favor on that. I argued it myself in 2015 or 16 from the tribunal. And it went back to the MCD. No. And they passed another idiotic order. I'm sorry to say, because now we've decided to appeal that. My father was the owner at that time, and my father died, and the property came to me. So we've gone to the High Court. We're going back to the tribunal to show them total disobedience. They did not appeal the order. They disobeyed it flagrantly. And this is the state of the MCD. So now we.
That's why we were telling we have to choose one, either DD or MCD.
But a younger, friend of mine sitting right the corner. So
Here, what as you have asked that what would be the steps for implementation of the policy. So I was going through this policy, and what I found is that object is very clear in this policy, that what we wanted. But the missing point is, as we were discussing discussing the how to reach that path, how to reach that object and meet that. And we discussed that there are so many challenges like EDC, IDC are not clear, the circle rate is not clear, then how to calculate the renewable energy charges. These all are some revenue things which are directly being concerned about any development of the land. So first and foremost thing is, with respect to each of the clause which I was going through, there is a requirement of deliberation and to codify and explain that how that is to be achieved and what would be the time frame that by which this is to be done. And any implementation is based upon codification of the law. And unless the law is codified, it is very difficult to implement which is not written. and administration would even find it very difficult to implement it. So this is the first and foremost thing which is required for implementation. And if on other side, if a government wishes to implement anything, this could be done in a very short span of time if government wishes, and for that it is not required.
So
to
would
wait
you be
for
able to, between today and tomorrow, give Mr. Bazad a kind of a written single piece of paper which we can submit to DDA, that this is what you need to take care of while the policy gets
We
implemented?
would be privileged to.
But that's all, please just help us do it. Thank you.
I will take care of that.
Avnish, coming back to you now, you do.
Also, one more thing,
Hanji.
just as Avnish mentioned about the foreign investments in this development land. So as he mentioned that in agriculture land, it can't be done. So he is correct there, but as mentioned that once it is urbanized. But here we have to look at if it is urbanized, whether still that be a farmhouse land. So if it is a farmhouse land, then again, there are restrictions and prohibitions on the foreign exchange laws to invest there. But again, for other facilities which are provided under grade A, B, 1, 2, and 3. So in those, the facilities like amusement parks and like other cold storages, there the foreign investments are allowed. So that again, as a policy matter, it is to be looked into that in what areas and how the foreign investments would be done for development of the entire green belt region.
That's an interesting point, actually.
No, he's right. Sorry.
A policy like this, what comes first, a policy like this or declaration of development area?
So I think along with this should come the declaration of the development area. Otherwise,
Before such a policy declaration of development area should come. Your thoughts?
It will be after.
It's after.
It will be after.
Always after.
ये जो ग्रीन बेल्ट के गांव बचे हैं बच्चे जीडीए इम्प्लीमेंट करने के लिए क्या उनको भी अर्बन डिक्लेयर करना कंपल्सरी है?
वो प्रोसेस में है। नेसेसिटी की बात इसलिए है कि तब डीडीए कुछ कर नहीं पाएगा वहाँ पे। अगर वो डिक्लेयर ही ना हो तो ये पॉलिसी ही इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं हो पाएगी सही तरीके से। वो पैचेस में इम्प्लीमेंट होगी और पूरे एरिया का होलिस्टिक प्लान नहीं बन पाएगा।
तो रिमेनिंग विलेजेस
अगर डिक्लेयर हो भी जाते हैं वहाँ पे एग्रीकल्चरल प्रैक्टिसेस कंटिन्यू होगा और जीडीए का पर्पू एक्सक्लूजन में आप देखेंगे वो लाडोरा एरियाज वगैरह उसमें नहीं काम होंगे। तो ये जो भी ग्रेडेड सिस्टम आएगा वो आपकी एप्लीकेबिलिटी सिर्फ उन एरियाज में होगी जो कि अर्बन एरिया है और वो इन एक्सक्लूजन्स का पार्ट नहीं है।
जो रिमेनिंग है वे अर्बन भी डिक्लेयर होंगे और डेवलपमेंट एरिया भी।
अगर अर्बन होगी डेवलपमेंट एरिया में उनको सर्टेन रिक्वायरमेंट्स जो हैं जैसे अगर ऑलरेडी एग्जिस्टिंग लाडोरा एरिया है तो वो जीडीए स्कीम के अंदर नहीं आ सकता है।
नहीं वो उसकी बात नहीं कर रहा, मैं एग्रीकल्चर लैंड की बात कर रहा हूँ। जैसे कि लैंड पूलिंग के विलेजेस पहले डीडीए ने अर्बन नोटिफाई किए, फिर डेवलपमेंट एरिया नोटिफाई किया, उसके बाद अभी डीडीए ही प्लान सैंक्शन करेगा। जो ग्रीन बेल्ट के विलेजेस है क्या डीडीए उनको अर्बन नोटिफाई करके डेवलपमेंट एरिया नोटिफाई करके डीडी
अभी डेवलपमेंट एरिया नहीं नोटिफाई करेगा। जीडीए के केस में उसको ग्रीन डेवलपमेंट एरिया कहा जा रहा है जिसमें जो 3 ग्रेड्स हैं उसके अंदर आप अलाउ कर सकते हैं जिसमें ग्रेड 1 में एग्रीकल्चर अलाउड है
नहीं वो तो
जो कि लैंड पूलिंग के केस में नहीं है।
ठीक है।
So is the question answered or not? Why are they taking so long to declare? And the usual.
Oh, she's NIUA, so she can answer you NIUA.
But she might know.
Well, no. Their boundaries are very clear, sir. Though they're next door neighbors, but they don't infringe into each other's areas, actually.
Are we attempting to believe that this 5,000 or 10,000 acres of land will be developed in a development area after declaring development area without acquiring any land? Without acquisition of any land, do you think that this kind of
the process of acquisition follows the declaration.
So
So what happens is that the notification declares an area, let's say defense colony, for your easy understand, defense colony used to be called colloquial, okay? And it was all field. And similarly, South Hanks in the 50s, they declared that development area. Then some parts of it are acquired by DDA for infrastructure, roads, facilities, development, correct me if I'm wrong. And after that is done, the land acquisition proceeds, on the site. And unfortunately, it's under the new act, so it's going to take more time.
Why?
Sorry?
Why?
Why? Meaning?
Why can't DDA say that, okay, after, we are going to acquire all these lands?
No, I'll just.
For the road and.
Because everything is not to be acquired. It's what they need for schools, not hospitals, mostly police station.
Roads.
Post offices.
Roads is the big one.
In this
See,
case,
the roads
the
are-
road is not being transferred to.
I'm just explaining, the roads are not highways, so they don't fall in the highways act. So they get acquired under the normal route of the 2013 act. And that is currently taking a lot of time. There's a social impact assessment.
My question is, while we were discussing LDRP, we were saying that these roads will be transferred to LCD. But if you are declaring it as development area, then who will take the ownership of the road?
So the master plan road, even it's written in the policy, the master plan road will be, no, internal roads will not be the mandate of the master plan. Because see, the thing is that master plan is.
एक बार कंटिन्यू करने दीजिए आप.
Here, I'll give you an example here. We have done a project in, Jaroda Kala, 40 acres of land. It sits on a zonal plan road, and the road width said there is 30 meters, and the current road width is maybe 3 karams or 3 gattas, as you call it. We got the layout approved, we got one of the, let's say, site plan approved for the farmhouse in the earlier policy, and we have left the road width widening in front of us. Internal, we have planned the project with erstwhile a 15-meter road, 1.5. And now going by this policy, we are going to reduce it to 9 meters for that matter. So I satisfy my condition that its internal road is 9 meters of a cluster development, and I'm accessing through a road which is 12-meter right of way or more than that. Okay. So that is my internal road. And that internal road is as per the cluster approval process. Either I will hand it over to, the approving agency if MCD says, or it can be my internal private road on which I will maintain all infrastructure and services connected to the master services laid onto the zonal road as and when they're laying it out actually. So this is the simple thing. Unless, something else comes up, I think that would be the internal roads which we all have to build internally.
I believe here there must be some advisory layout plans.
Layout plans is, 1 acre with a road in center, 9-meter road right away. The only question that remains to be answered is the 9-meter. If I leave, like people have done in erstwhile locations, by leaving my half here and my half there, as per the earlier LDRA policy, will I get FAR benefit on top of that or not? So that's the only question we left to be answered actually. Otherwise, it's a simple layout like we do in Haryana, as he rightly said some time back. Deen Dayal, we're also doing a project in Sonipat, so it doesn't really matter. It's a simple process. Leave a 9-meter road, get it approved and over and done with.
विशाखा जी कुछ बोल रहे थे मास्टर प्लान रोड्स के बारे में.
बस यही बता रही थी कि मास्टर प्लान रोड्स में क्योंकि लैंड एक्वायर होना है तो पूलिंग प्रोसेस होगा जो डीडीए करेगी और उन लैंड का FAR they'll be able to manage on the site. जितना जा रहा है मास्टर प्लान रोड में, अगर मास्टर प्लान रोड उस समय प्लान होता है उसका बेनिफिट लैंड ओनर्स को मिलेगा. वेयर जो प्राइवेट जो फार्म हाउसेस के लिए अगर लैंड बनाना है, 9 मीटर का रोड बनाना है, उस केस में कोई एक्वायरिंग नहीं हो रहा है तो डीडीए इन्वॉल्व नहीं है, वो लैंड ओनर्स को ही बनाना पड़ेगा.
लैंड ओनर्स ही बनाएंगे उसको. लैंड ओनर्स बनाने के बाद उस क्लस्टर को जिसकी लैंड जाएगी उसके अंदर जितना पार्ट जाएगा एकड़ में से, वो एकड़ का उसको FAR का बेनिफिट दिया जाएगा. नहीं मिलेगा जो
एज पर पॉलिसी अभी उसको उसका बेनिफिट नहीं मिल रहा है क्योंकि नए वाले केसेस में उसमें ऑलरेडी मेंशन है कि आपको 12 मीटर रोड लाना है वहां पे. तो नए में तो सवाल ही नहीं उठता. जो रेगुलराइजेशन प्रोसेस है उसके लिए ऑलरेडी कुछ रिलैक्सेशन दिया गया है. जो एग्जिस्टिंग फार्म हाउसेज है उनको 12 मीटर नहीं करना है, तो उस केस में इट कंटिन्यूज द वे इट इज. तो FAR एडिशनल कहीं पे भी मिलने का स्कोप नहीं है.
I think the question which is being raised to you is, and which I can hear because I understand what everybody is saying, is that is there a benchmark which you have followed to make this policy and submit to DDA? For example, this is not a complicated process at all. Wherever there is a policy like this in Haryana, for example, it's a very simple 5-page policy. We'll forward it to you. There's hardly any issue there, zilch whatsoever. So take a benchmark approach because it's very easy to say, 12-meter road, 9-meter road. People are very clear. They say if you don't approve, we'll go the illegal way. Like our friend there said some time back, So that I think the voice of the people is, we want to do it, but as my friend Avinash said some time back, and you used a very important word, what was that? Eligibility criteria. So whether it's 9-meter road, 12-meter road, doesn't really matter. You give us whatever FAR, it doesn't really matter. People will eventually build 600 meters, for example, with 5 FAR. I can assure you, there'll be a first 300 square feet of a house for the caretaker, which will become whatever it becomes over a period of time. So question is, benchmarking is important here. Delhi, unfortunately, has been seeing policies being built and proposed without any benchmarking, right from Kanyakumari to, Srinagar. There is no benchmarking of Delhi policies.
No, I understand. In fact, we have noted Avinash's point in terms of the eligibility criteria.
No,
and
all I'm
not
requesting
looking
is
at
have some
terms of-
benchmarking around you. It will be easier for us to develop. Land pooling is failing here because you made it suddenly 500 acres, 300 acres, 70%. People today can build a 5 acres project as per the data enough. But if you say I need to build a 50-acre project, Kuldeep has been working with Purvankar as the CFO there. It's not easy anymore. It's impossible rather. So it's very easy to say big projects. Today, nobody can do it. 100 acres, 300 acres, only one gentleman, Ramesh Agarwal, has it. Nobody else has it. There will not be any further land assembly to that extent. So my request is, benchmarking is important. Somehow, we are missing that point in the process here. And that's the reason so much of deliberation is going on.
No, what to talk of Gurgaon, even in DDA's own LDRA policy, previously it was given that if you subdivide your plot, you will be given the FAR and the advantage of that in the policy. So why it is now,
And
it is not there now?
still in force actually.
In fact,
In case of subdivision of plots, it's not the problem. The problem is when the farmhouse does not have an access to the main road. Then in
No,
that
I'll
case,
tell you very honestly. See, I'm very multiple hats. For example, this peripheral business, 25%. Believe you me, I've never read anything of that kind in my entire professional career of 30 years. It doesn't just make sense. You have a road in front of you, 12-meter period, baat khatam ho gaya. Secondly, most importantly, is a road is feeding what? Number of dwelling units, right? A 500 square plot is having 4 dwelling units right now. Nowhere in DDA or in MCD it says your road should be 9 meter, 12 or 15. They say the minimum road is 9 meters. That's it. Full stop. Even Southex has had 9-meter road only. Question is, if a farmhouse has an acre with 1 dwelling, 3 for the time being, even a 6-meter road is more than enough because everything is parked inside my farm, not outside on the main road. It's important. So the question is, we need to look at the practicality of the discussions. Then only a policy will be implemented on ground actually.
This was very wrong, as Mr. Gaurav says, like my farmhouse. It's on the main road, Chhatarpur Bandir Road. The road in the master plan is 60 meter. My farmhouse is a rectangular. It's 200 by 800 feet. So if I count the periphery, it becomes to 2000. So 2000 means 25%. Even I will not qualify. So this is, I don't know.
stand on the perimeter point. That's
So
right.
this is, देखिए आप सुबह से हैं यहाँ पे. You are the lone person standing to represent the government or the quasi government. So we have a lot of sympathy for you. एक मिनट sir, just
I'm taking a rocket.
Pradeep, 1 second.
I mean, normal colonization, it happens everywhere. Ghana, Jalandhar, Kerala, Honolulu. Go to any.
फिर तो मैं ऑनलाइन पहुंच गया यार. Stay in India only यार.
Every community is living in a colony. It's not a rocket science. I mean, why are we wasting so much time with it? Point
Is help us to decipher the trouble or the puzzle as we call it. You've seen the keenness, you've seen the enthusiasm. Everybody is very, very excited about it. But we don't understand the logic behind some of the things. I think you know it better. Help us to represent that to the government in a very positive way. And I think we will have a very high quality city to live in. All of us want to improve the standards. We want to emulate what Sikri Saab has done, So maybe at 200 by 800 acres, somewhere in the 6-meter road of the Garini ban sakta, ab kya kare zara? So with that, I think I'll request, in case there is nothing left, maybe Bhupender Bhai can give us what we call a final, address to close the sessions. I thank you all for being here today. I'm sure that, we got enlightened, but I request one thing very, very importantly, and Sumit, everybody should know your email ID. Whatever you have to contribute, say verbally, SMS, WhatsApp, please send him something by end of the day today or latest by mid-afternoon tomorrow.
I would
so
also
that,
just have one request while you're doing that. Please give us some Like now that you all have also stayed there the entire day, I have tried
Why
clarifying
don't you come
few
on the
things
dais
from
here
my
and then,
point.
say what you have to say. I'm little tired of standing on this one.
Okay, I'll introduce myself again. I'm Vishakha Jha. I work with NIUA and I have been a part of Master Plan for the past 4 years. And it was really overwhelming to see so many positive outlooks towards this plan policy. It's not usually how things work, at least for what I have seen in the past 4 years. But I think some of the points are really well taken. I'm sure you all have done your own, bit of research. More than research, it comes with a lot of experience. And we are really happy to make those improvisations in the policy to make it even push from our end to DDAS to make it this more holistic in every manner, and more than that, more implementable, because that's why we needed this workshop. And I'm very happy that NAREDCO managed to do it really well. So a couple of things. I think some of the points that came up also were very specific to certain contexts, and it's nice, but it would be also good when you're giving your suggestions to specify which area this particular suggestion is coming from, whether it has, so that it will be easier for us to see whether this has a larger policy implication, or should we just look at that specific area, or there can be a certain clause that could be relevant only to certain category of problems. And secondly, wherever there are issues of better ways of, say somebody was mentioning about street sections, or somebody was mentioning about building setbacks or other calculations, it would be nice to have those also along with the suggestions. And overall, I just want to say that a lot of the things that are mentioned, and I'm happy to see that a lot of that is being dealt in the overall plan. I know you have your reservations on why we keep calling it Master Plan 2041, but it's just the way the 20-year vision is seen. But a lot of these spatial plans, for example, the green development area, the TOD policy, all these spatial plans eventually are feeding into what Delhi is envisioned for 2041. Doesn't mean we have to do it then, but a lot of it is actually starting now. These are smaller steps towards, and I just feel that we have environment at the heart of everything that's happening. And green development policy, as rightly mentioned before also, is the last piece of land that does provide us that opportunity to, not just look at development as built up areas and, securing farmhouses, but also to just add value to what the city already is. I just want to end with that. Thank you.
I have one question. Sir, one question. And you have been advocating this policy to DDA, and I'm sure you attended various discussion panels with all the policy influencers. In your honest opinion, if all goes well, when can this policy see the light of day?
No, I mean, honestly, given NIUA, no, I'll just, no, totally.
With all your professional wisdom and knowledge.
Yeah.
Because there's a very high quality euphoria which has got there. But if it doesn't get done in a certain time frame, everybody loses their, momentum in the process.
No, so one has to understand that this policy, because the master plan is in process, this policy could have waited. Okay. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying, that, the policy could have waited. But because there's so much interest from the VCDDA and there's so much interest which is being seen from the people, and because the land pooling policy is already, being, is rolling out. So it made it really important for people to be prepared for the master plan also, because this will become a part of the master plan. So this was made a part of it. From what I see, the regulations are already in place. It's being deliberated. A lot of these suggestions will also go in the regulations. I won't be able to give a timeline to it, only because it's not, had it been NIUA's mandate, maybe I would have a rough time estimate, but because we work with a DDA, essentially it's DDA's baby. We just help them and support them in whichever way we can in making the policy. So I think it will be better if they, because from our end, we wouldn't be able to give a timeline.
But ये target time frame का हमें ही बनाना पड़ेगा, और इसको हम सबको मिलके प्रेशर करके मैं तो कहता हूं कि इस जुलाई के टारगेट मैं अपने इंटरनल माइंड में फिट किया हुआ है कि इसको जुलाई तक गो थ्रू करना है, इम्प्लीमेंटेशन और इसके साथ में रेगुलेशंस भी इसके साथ में लेके आनी है। क्लोज करें सर सेशन।
So we'll request all of you to please get together for a photograph.
सर फाइनल उसके लिए दे रहा था मैं, उसके बाद फिर जी
प्लीज सर
पूरा क्लोज करने के लिए आज पूरे दिन की जो चर्चा में डीडीए के द्वारा जो अभी पॉलिसी जीडीए को ड्राफ्ट पॉलिसी को रखा गया, उस पर सारे प्रोफेशनल्स ने, विशेषज्ञों ने, आर्किटेक्ट्स ने, प्लानर्स ने, लीगल एक्सपर्ट्स भी हमारे साथ बैठे हैं, पॉलिसी एक्सपर्ट्स सभी लोगों ने या पूर्व अधिकारी थे जो रिटायर्ड, उन लोगों ने भी सारे बिंदुओं पर अपने विचार रखे। सभी सेशन में चर्चाओं के दौरान काफी जो विचारणीय तथ्य थे।
इट्स लाइव, स्लाइड्स आर रेडी।
ओके तो विचारणीय तथ्य तो सामने आए हैं। सभी चाहते हैं कि राष्ट्रीय जो राजधानी की जमीन पर जुड़ी हुई योजनाएं हैं अद्वितीय हों, काफी अनुकरणीय होनी चाहिए। सभी सम्मानित जो लोग हैं पॉलिसी को स्वागत किया और इस दिशा में कुछ चिंताएं भी मुख्य हुई जिन्होंने अपनी अपनी चिंताओं को सामने रखा। इसमें मुख्य बिंदुओं पर जो पॉलिसी के संबंध में इम्प्लीमेंटेशन का सबसे बड़ा जो पार्ट था वो निकल के आया कि इम्प्लीमेंटेशन कैसे होगी। इतने लंबे समय से पॉलिसी ड्राफ्ट पर अनेक बार चर्चाएं हुई, संशोधन हुए, उसके उपरांत भी फाइनलाइज नहीं हो पा रही है। तो सरकार को प्राइवेट सेक्टर पर थोड़ा भरोसा रखना होगा और गुड़गांव, वेस्टर्न ग्रीन और एरो सिटी वगैरह जो डेवलपमेंट्स जो देख रहे हैं सब प्राइवेट प्लेयर्स द्वारा किए गए। तो अब हम ये बताने में सक्षम है कि हम प्राइवेट लोग भी इस हमारे जो डेवलपर्स हैं वो इसको करने में अच्छी डेवलपमेंट को बड़े अच्छे तरीके से सक्षम है। इसमें जो कुछ पॉइंट्स आपके सामने स्लाइड चल रही है, जो पहले सेशन में कुछ मुख्य बिंदु हैं, उन बिंदुओं को सेशन फॉर एग्जिस्टिंग फार्म हाउस जो लगे हुए हैं उनमें कुछ पॉइंट्स निकल कर आए थे। फर्स्ट पॉइंट था प्रिजर्व ग्रीन इंटेंसिटी। सेकंड था रोड आर लाइफलाइन, वाइडनिंग ऑफ रोड इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एंड लैंडओनर्स विलिंग टू सरेंडर। ये क्रक्स उसके निकल के आ रहे हैं, मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ। इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर सर्विसेज कैन बी नेग्लेक्टेड, cannot be neglected. For number escrow account for the fund utilization of specific purpose एक ये था। 5 नंबर है 25 पैरामीटर इज impractical। तो ये फर्स्ट सेशन के कुछ पॉइंट्स थे। सेकंड सेशन में जो अपॉर्चुनिटीज के ऊपर था, the manner by which rampant unauthorized construction is being done, a great opportunity would be lost. Second, a mix of farmhouses and other issues is welcome. Single window is critical. Agroforestry should be allowed, TDR for volunteering. Redressal mechanism system as the policy is evolving. अच्छी बातें किया जाना चाहिए। सेक्शन 4 के लिए टेक्निकल इश्यूज थे जो उसमें ग्रेड 1 ग्रेड 3 के अंदर 25 मीटर रो होना चाहिए। ग्राउंड कवरेज रिस्ट्रिक्शन शुड बी रिमूव फ्रॉम द फार्म हाउसेस। ग्राउंड कवरेज के जो रिस्ट्रिक्शन है वो रिमूव की जानी चाहिए। 600 मीटर साइज अंडर ग्रेड 1 इज अब्जर्व्ड एंड नो सब डिविजन फॉर लेस देन 1 acre parcels. नंबर ऑफ dwelling units joint और सेपरेट, फोर्थ पॉइंट था। क्लस्टर प्लानिंग नॉर्म्स आर अवेटेड। इसके साथ एक पॉइंट और ऐड करना चाहता हूँ कि इसमें जो बॉर्डर के विलेजेस हैं उसके अंदर जो वेयर हाउसिंग है वो अलाउ कर देनी चाहिए, क्योंकि बॉर्डर के विलेजेस के अंदर बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट है। बाहर से कनेक्टिविटी भी अच्छी है और जो दिल्ली की जरूरतों के लिए भी इस वेयर हाउसिंग की आगे आने वाले टाइम में बहुत ज्यादा जरूरत है। सो ये पॉइंट्स आपके सामने रख दिए। तो इन जो विचार जो सारे के सामने समक्ष रखा है, इन सभी ऑनलाइन जुड़े हुए लोगों के भी कुछ क्वेश्चन आए थे जिनका जवाब नहीं दे पाए, पर अपने जो ऑनलाइन जुड़े हुए लोग थे उनको भी बेचारा अपने जो विचार है वो शेयर करके पर्सनली भेज सकते हैं। उसकी हम समीक्षा करके, क्योंकि मेरा जो पर्सनल भी है नरेडको के प्लेटफॉर्म पे भी भेज सकते हैं, हम लोग दिल्ली देहात के प्लेटफॉर्म पे भी भेज सकते हैं, तो उनको अपने पॉइंट्स में जो व्यूज हैं उसमें ऐड ऑन करके हम लोग डीडीए के सामने या मंत्रालय के सामने जहां पर जरूरत होगी सक्षम अधिकारियों के सामने रखेंगे उनको। और ये पॉलिसी के सभी के प्रयासों, ये जो पॉलिसी है ये मैं अकेला या आप या अकेले कोई कर नहीं सकता है इसको, तो हम सबके ज्वाइंटली प्रयासों की जरूरत है इसमें, चाहे इसमें एग्जिस्टिंग फार्म हाउस वाले हैं या नई फार्म हाउस पॉलिसी है, वो सभी लोगों को साथ में जुड़ना पड़ेगा, विशेषज्ञों को भी साथ में जुड़ना पड़ेगा। उनकी गाइडलाइंस के तहत हम लोग अपने प्लान्स और सरकार से चर्चा करेंगे और उनको आगे बढ़ा पाएंगे। आदरणीय वीसी साहब तो आज आ नहीं पाए, मगर डीडीए से मंजू पॉल जी, मनीषा मैडम जी आए थे, एनआईए से हितेश वैद्य जी आए थे, विशाखा जी ने बड़े अच्छे विचार अपने रखे हैं यहाँ पर। तो इन सारे सेशन में प्रैक्टिकल बातें हुई हैं सारी, और इसको आगे बढ़ाने के लिए सभी का जो आज अपने विचार के सभी लोगों का आज मैं तहे दिल से उनका धन्यवाद करता हूं, और आगे जुड़े रहने के लिए हम लोगों से कनेक्ट रहें। डीडीवीएम की टीम हमेशा आप लोगों के साथ है, और विशेष रूप से भाई गौरव जैन का, जिन्होंने इतना समय लगाया इन सारी चीजों को इकट्ठा किया और हम सबको एक अच्छा प्लेटफॉर्म दिया यहाँ पर डिस्कशन करने का, और जिसमें सरकार भी साथ में जुड़ी हुई है। तो बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। अभी मैं अपनी भाषा को शांत करना चाहूंगा, तो धन्यवाद आप सभी लोगों का जी। तो एक बार हम ग्रुप फोटोग्राफ ऑफ ऑल द पैनलिस्ट जी। थैंक यू। सो थैंक यू वेरी मच। Vishakha ji, come on. So we'll request Vishakha ji, Rajesh Goyal sir. Sir ये चेयर के पीछे कर। Please come on. आजी इधर आजी। सेंटर में आ जाए थोड़ा भाई। मोमेंटरी मास्क उतारना पड़ेगा एक बार। हाँ, आप मास्क उतार दीजिए। Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So we thank you everybody for your kind inputs, and and we are sorry that we could not take a question answer which was shared over Zoom platform, but we have noted all the question answer with us, and we'll of course get back to each and every attendee who shared their inputs. We'd also like to thank our sponsors, which is Elements, Samyak, Man India, Kailash Nath Group, KCT Group, Fertile Wines, and of course supported by Delhi Dehat Vikas Manch. And anybody who wants to share their feedback, you're requested to kindly reach out to us on DDA Green Development Policy by tomorrow afternoon. By tomorrow afternoon on redco@redco.in. It's our email ID, naredco@naredco.in. And please, we'll request each and every one of you who have joined us virtually as well as in India Habitat Center to please share your inputs at the earliest, because we need to submit all the inputs and by tomorrow to and by day after to ADA. So we seek your inputs at the earliest. Please get back to us at the earliest. We thank you once again and for joining us and for this important conference. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye.